Hey, 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 hey. How is everybody? Happy Tuesday to my toneful people. All right. Got to go back to the chat here and see who is here. Amanda was the earliest again. She wins another prize. I don't know what that is, but we got to figure out something, Amanda. She was here early. Katie's here. We missed you last week, Katie. All right. Good to see you. Let's see. Who else? Kay is here, of course. The lovely Kay. And Wayne is here all the way from the UK. Ladies and gentlemen, Wayne. I think he's come the furthest this evening. All right, Wayne. And by the way, yes, Wayne, Pieces was the first CD I put out. I actually put out something in 1991 that was not on CD. But the first CD that I put out was called Pieces, and Victor Vicious was on that. So an oldie. That one's, it's got some years on it, much like its owner. Anyway, let's see. Candy is here, the fabulous Candy. She's awesome. Everybody knows that. Great to see you, Candy. Michael Panich is here. Ladies and gentlemen, we call him Pickles. Pickles. Hey, 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 hey. All right. Anybody? Oh, we have the Jacksons here. And I'm not talking about Janet. Nope. I'm not talking about Tito or any of them. I'm talking about Scott and Gina, the Jacksons, all the way from Lawndale, California. Awesome. Great to see you guys. Let's see who else. Anybody else? I think I got everybody, I think. Okay. So first of all, I have to thank Mike Bozick, who's not on here this evening yet, and Wayne, my man Wayne Dawson from the UK. Thank you for last week's Buy Me a Coffee. That is so kind of you, and it helps to keep the lights on around here. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And also, some of you others have bought merchandise and stuff. So always, thank you so much. All right, well, I don't see anybody new yet, so I'm going to move on. This week, Winter Park, still climbing. Went up 3 spots on the Smooth Jazz Network Top 100. Went from 88 to 85. And then Spain and Latin America. We were at 83 and went to 76. 76 trombones. Yep. So it's moving. It's moving. Moving and grooving. Winter Park. Still alive out there. And you can hear Winter Park on Spotify, right? On all of those streaming type channels. It should be on most of them, if not all of them. There's my Spotify. And then, of course, I have a store. You can buy the CD or the digital downloads, or you can buy singles. Victor Vicious and Winter Park are available as singles. So if you like Victor Vicious, the newly elected theme song to Toneful Tuesdays, that was written for my late brother Victor. They're available at the Fourth Wall store. Also have another store going. The Bandcamp store is open. Just Blues Cafe stuff right now, but more is coming. All right, checking back. Do we have anybody else? All right, all right, all right. I don't see anybody. Again, if I miss anybody, remember, never on purpose. Never on purpose. Unless you're a jagoff. That's what we say in Pittsburgh. But I won't skip over you. Even if you're a jagoff, I won't skip over. Okay, so lots going on. Lots going on. Next week, I have a great friend of mine who has a YouTube channel with over 200,000 subscribers named Paul Thompson. And here's a little promo for Paul's show next week. Coming up on Toneful Tuesdays, I'm your host, Tony Janflone Jr., and this week I'm honored to welcome bassist, educator, and YouTube creator Paul Thompson. Paul has been playing bass professionally for over 30 years, including recording and touring with Maynard Ferguson and Stanley Turrentine. His recent playing credits include Kurt Elling, Michael Feinstein, the Pittsburgh Symphony Pops with Byron Stripling, and Bob James. Paul is also a respected educator, teaching bass at Duquesne University and West Virginia University, and has built an incredible YouTube channel with over 200,000 subscribers, featuring music tutorials, history, theory, and all things bass. Join us Tuesday, July 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time for Toneful Tuesdays with my special guest, Paul Thompson, right here on my YouTube channel. So that's next week. Paul. Yeah, he's great. So yeah, I see Candy said, don't be a jagoff. Hey, Wayne said, a double bass player, and that is correct. And some people call it upright bass too. But yeah, he's great. He plays electric as well, Wayne. You'll love him. He's really, really wonderful. Paul Thompson. I didn't skip you, Mike. I didn't skip you, and I wouldn't. Well, I might, but I didn't tonight. No, I won't skip you. You know that. All right. So Don and I had played many shows together when we were younger, and we're going to talk about one. And by the way, if any of you are experts with OBS, it's the software that I'm using to tape and stream. So I record the interviews with it, and I stream. And generally, it works really wonderfully. But twice now, I've had an issue where it cut part of my interview off once I saved the file. So it happened on Tom Hemby's. If you guys remember that, I had to do some filling in of the blanks. And unfortunately, it happened with Don at the beginning of his interview. So I did present what we talked about, and we still got a nice conversation in, so don't worry. But we did play shows together, and we played one in particular, and we talk about it in the stream, in the interview. So we played with these two guys named Don and Juan, and it was really a funny gig. We were backing up a bunch of oldies groups at the Porky Chedwick Oldies concert up near New Kensington, PA. And we were the house band. Don was playing saxophone and I was playing guitar. And we played a song that we had never heard. And it's never left my brain because it was pretty darn bizarre. So I'm going to play you a song that we played that evening with Don and Juan. And it's called Chicken Necks.
Chicken head, chicken feet, chicken necks is all I eat. Chicken necks every night of the week. Chicken heads and chicken feet. She never cooks any collard greens, no potatoes, no lima beans. Chicken heads, chicken feet, chicken necks is all I eat. When I come home from a hard day's work, my house is in a wreck. She's standing by the kitchen stove, cooking nothing but some chicken necks. Chicken heads, chicken feet, chicken necks is all I eat. She gave me kisses just the night before. I told the chick I didn't want any more, 'cause on the weekend when I get my check, she fill the Frigidaire full of necks. Chicken heads, chicken feet, chicken necks is all I eat. Chicken necks is all I eat. all day. The wrinkles in my belly just won't go away. Chicken head, chicken feet, a chicken necks is all I eat.
Well, what'd you think of Don and Juan, huh? I've never played a song called Chicken Necks otherwise, just so you know. Never chicken necks, chicken feet. Never. Anyway, that was pretty wild. And so there was a train wreck at this concert because Don and Juan, they filled out a set list to give to the band, and they gave us a song order. But I don't think they remembered their own order. So they started one song, and we started another as a band. And then they went, stop. This is in front of a large crowd, by the way. Stop. And then they went, how about that band? True story. So Don and I talk about that a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to get on with it, and I'm going to see you guys after our little like and subscribe video. Don's interview and pre-interview will be about an hour. Okay? So what time is it here? I'll see you about 8:15, 8:20. Real quick before we keep going, if you've been enjoying Toneful Tuesdays, I'd really appreciate it if you'd take a second and subscribe to the channel. It's a small thing, but it really does make a difference. It helps the channel grow, it helps more people discover what we're doing here, and helps me bringing you great guests, meaningful conversation, music, and encouragement week after week. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much. And if you're not, I'd surely be grateful for your support. All right, let's get back to it. This evening on Toneful Tuesdays, I'm honored to feature saxophonist, reed player, recording artist, and educator Don Aliquo. Don's musical journey began in Pittsburgh, PA, growing up in the Aliquo household where jazz was part of everyday life. His father, Don Aliquo Sr., a respected saxophonist himself, introduced him early on to the music of John Coltrane, Sonny Rollins, Stanley Turrentine, and the deep tradition of jazz. Don started out on clarinet, but eventually moved to saxophone after his father encouraged him to make the switch. By junior high school, he was already reading music at a high level, and by high school, he was performing several nights a week with Pittsburgh musicians, including his lifelong friend, drummer Jeff Tane Watts.
Ooh, yeah. Now blow your horn, now blow your horn, blow your horn. Don Aliquo on tenor sax, everybody. Don Aliquo.
Coming up during the tail end of Pittsburgh's vibrant jazz club scene, Don learned the music the old school way, on the bandstand. He would learn tunes in one club, walk up the street, and try them out in another. That kind of real-world experience helped shape his sound, his confidence, and his musical voice. As part of Roger Humphrey's band, Don had the opportunity to perform with artists passing through Pittsburgh, including Eddie Harris, George Benson, and Stanley Turrentine. Stanley's sound, blues feeling, and musical conviction made a lasting impression on Don. Don went on to study at Duquesne University, where his teachers included saxophonist Eric Kloss and jazz studies director John Wilson. He later attended Berklee College of Music in Boston, where he studied with George Garzone, Joe Viola, Ed Tomasi, and John Laporta. His professional journey has included performing lead alto with the Tommy Dorsey Band and baritone saxophone with the Buddy Rich Band. He later returned to Duquesne as an instructor, formed the Don Aliquo Quartet, and has recorded and performed with many respected artists, including Gary Burton, Rufus Reid, Greg Osby, Pete Chryslieb, Scott Robinson, and Marvin Stamm. Don's career has also taken him around the world as an educator and performer, including work in China, Colombia, and Spain. Through it all, his music has remained rooted in sound, tone, tradition, growth, and honesty. Tonight, we'll talk about his Pittsburgh roots, the Aliquo musical household, lessons from the bandstand, the importance of tone, his life as an educator, his new EP, Horizons, and more. So please, my friends, welcome my guest to Toneful Tuesdays, my friend, Don Aliquo. Well, once again, I had an issue. At the very beginning of my interview with Don Aliquo, we had a technical issue with OBS. I thought I had it sorted out after the interview with Tom Hemby because we lost some footage there. I did Gumby Ortiz the next week and it worked great. So, not sure yet what's going on, but something happened. So, unfortunately, the first part of our conversation was cut off. So I wanted to take a few moments to fill in some of what we talked about before the interview picks up. We started by talking about Don's wonderful upbringing in the Aliquo musical household. His father, Don Aliquo Sr., is a wonderful jazz saxophonist and one of Don's earliest and most important influences. Growing up, Don was surrounded by great music and was introduced to the deep jazz tradition through players like John Coltrane, Charlie Parker, Stanley Turrentine, Stan Getz, and Sonny Rollins. Don also shared that when he was in high school, he started listening to more pop-inclined crossover saxophonists like Ronnie Laws, Grover Washington Jr., and Tom Scott. We also talked about our shared Pittsburgh roots, and one memory that came up was a father and son night at the balcony in Shadyside. It was Don with his father and me with my father, along with a great rhythm section. It was a really special night and lots of fun. Two fathers and two sons sharing music together. We also talked about some of the Pittsburgh clubs we played, including the Decade and Graffiti, which were favorites in the Pittsburgh area and part of a scene that gave musicians places to play, grow, and connect. Another large part of the conversation was Don's time performing with the great Roger Humphreys. Roger was known for performing with Horace Silver on the famous song for My Father, and also he played with Ray Charles. Don mentioned playing with a wonderful band that included the late, great Donna Davis on piano, Dwayne Dolphin on bass, Tony Campbell on alto saxophone, and of course Roger Humphreys on drums. After Donna, Sonny Barbado joined the band playing piano. While playing with Roger, Don also had the opportunity to work with and be around legendary musical figures like Stanley Turrentine, George Benson, and Eddie Harris. We talked about how Don came up at the tail end of the heyday of the Pittsburgh jazz scene, when there were still plenty of places to play, jam, learn, and grow. That kind of real-world bandstand experience gave him lessons that can't really be duplicated in a classroom. We also touched on the importance of really listening to great saxophonists and other musicians, not just for the notes, but for the phrasing, the sound, the space, and the feel, and the way they told a story through the horn. We also talked about transcribing. And for those of you who are not musicians, transcribing is hearing a song and being able to write it on paper. So, as musicians and instrumentalists, we often write out solos to learn from. So even though the opening portion of the interview was cut off, that part of our conversation really centered on family, legacy, Pittsburgh, mentorship, listening, phrasing, transcribing, and the musical experiences that helped shape Don. Now let's pick up the conversation from there. We were fortunate to grow up when we did, I think.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, and you asked me that question about Pittsburgh. I look back at that as how much of a blessing that was for me to have been around all that and to see and hear all the stuff I heard. Because I don't think the younger students, well, I mean, there are always going to be some to figure it out and go to the source, but it's different now, I think. It's different for younger people to learn the music and so forth. Though they're doing it, certainly they're doing it. But.
Well, I'm certain that they're grateful to have you as a teacher, that's for sure.
Well, I hope some of them are.
I'm sure they are. Hey, man. They're getting to study with one of the greats walking the planet. Are you kidding me?
Well, students are funny. Just leave it at that.
I know.
I've been doing it a long time. Can you tell?
I get it.
Yeah, in my office, I have a wall, which was a blackboard, and it's completely filled with photographs of the students through the years that I've had, and only the good ones. The ones that I loved, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When I'm not having a good day, I'll look up at the wall and say, yeah, that's yeah. That makes me feel better.
So, Don, you've always had such a great sound. And there's, learning notes and theory and phrasing, but I think developing a great sound is so important, because I'll personally tell you, there's some great guitar players that I've heard, and I can tell they're fine players, but some of them have sounds that turn me off. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's the whole package of phrasing and tone and your sound, all that stuff that makes a great player.
Oh man, yeah. It's interesting because I always tell students, like, well, what got you into this music in the first place? And I'll say, well, I can tell you, it was the sound that the person had that affected you somehow deeper than just on a surface level, right? And so you wanted to investigate that, right? So it's the same. If the sound, and excuse my French, there's another thing I always tell students is, if the sound sucks, it all sucks. I mean, true. It's true, right? I mean, it's true though, right? Because
I agree.
Musician that you enjoy who doesn't have a great sound, there aren't any. All right. I mean, that's it.
The ones that I want to listen to all do. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you actually have a wonderful sound, and it's ear candy, right? For me, when I hear you play, it's beautiful. So do you have any tips or any suggestions for people that are playing to develop your tone?
Well, certainly on the saxophone, the embouchure and the way the sound is produced is important to have it be mostly right, if not completely right. In other words, fundamental technique on the instrument is important. So if you're not doing that correct, you're always going to have some. And I'm not like a picture perfect example of that, like some classical players are amazing. Their embouchures are just incredible, right? But it has to be the point where you can get a rich, full sound. That fundamental part has to be there. but you also have to work on long tones. I play long tones almost every time I practice, and I've been doing that for years. That fundamental long tone practice, and really listening to the sound that you're creating and trying to get it even through the whole instrument. That's the goal. At least that's the way my dad taught me. On any woodwind instrument, the goal was to play with the same sound from the bottom of the instrument to the top of the instrument, right? Like a piano, for instance, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And easier said than done on a wind instrument, I think. I'll just say that. But so that's always been my goal, I think, with the sound. And I think I've copied a lot of players, but maybe I haven't copied anybody to the extent where you could say I sound like such and such, which is probably a good thing. I don't know. I had the best compliment I ever got from a player was there's a saxophone player named Greg Osby, he's kind of well known in maybe real modern jazz circles. And we went to Berklee together, and he came down here to give some master classes for me years ago. And he said, one thing about your playing, he said, I can pick you out of a saxophone lineup like that, and I said, I've won then, That's
you
it.
did.
That's it.
You did. And I agree with Greg, and he's a fine player, but I've heard him, and I agree. And I think it's really important to be yourself. And I think a lot of times people are afraid to be themselves, so I always
right. You're right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I always felt like when I taught, and I took a break from teaching right now, but when I teach people and they ask me about learning a lick or learning this, or, and I'd say, okay, look, I'll show you how this guy played this, but I'm not going to show it to you unless you learn the concept of this line. So if you understand how the line works and why it works, then you can alter it to make your own ideas, and you'll actually have a concept instead of just learning and copying a guy's line, Yeah. So it was always important for me to go in depth and figure out the concept of why things work. And I believe you're the guy that does that as well, which is why you sound like you.
Yeah. Well, and I never, and I'm sure you never have done this either. Or told yourself, oh, I'm going to come up with this original sound. It's just like who you listened to and who you played with, and like what you worked on. You know what I mean? Like, I never had that in my mind that I was going to have this original sound or something like that.
I get it, but it happens naturally with hard work and listening a lot to a variety of players too, right? You don't want to just eat one thing. You know Curtis Swift, don't you?
Yeah, sure.
So Curtis is funny, and I do my imitation of Curtis because you got to. But he'll say, he'd say, "Hey, Tom, what do you think Don Aliquo likes to eat?" He said that to me about Michael Brecker one day, and at first I said, "Well, I never thought about what he likes to eat, man." He goes, "No, what he listens to," and so he likens listening to music as ingesting, right? Yeah. And we ingest these sounds, and you've named some of your influences. And I believe it goes beyond even just music. I believe that you living a life and having all the experiences you've had, and you being around Roger Humphreys, and all that stuff, Billy Price, you probably, had heard a bunch of the blues-oriented and funk and soul-oriented guys at that time, because you were playing that music. So you have a lifetime of these influences, and now they're Don Aliquo. That's what I think. Well,
I'll go with it. I'll roll with it.
I think so. I think it's a lifetime of dedication, and working at something, and it develops over time, and it's you know.
Yeah.
And I think it's great because I can tell you when I hear you, and not everybody gets that. Not everybody can do that. So
yeah, I agree. I appreciate that. That. It means a lot.
Yeah. It's true. So Don, you have been both a performer, musician, and an instructor.
Mm-hmm.
Which of the two do you prefer, or how do they both commingle?
Well, I think they inform each other, and you know that too because you've done some teaching, right? Sometimes we'll learn about the music from having to show somebody else something or to play something for somebody. Then you enhances your own concept or whatever. So I found that to be the case where they inform each other somehow. You know what I mean? And in depth sometimes, like if you're teaching something to somebody, you have to know it to a point where it's somewhat mastered, let's say, at least if it's on the instrument. And so that solidifies it for yourself, right? So those are good things. And through the years, in particular, excuse me, jazz history, because I had to teach that class, I did, a much deeper dive. And man, I'm still learning all this stuff I didn't know about that I think, oh man, I can't wait to mention that to my students, where when I started, man, I was just like, scuffling a good bit, but so I think that it's been good. As far as a preference, I've always considered myself a performer more than the educator part, but if my boss is out there is listening, I'll still give 100%. I promise.
And I'm certain that you always do. Now, how long have you been at Middle Tennessee State?
I think this is going to be my 28th year, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow,
that's a long time, isn't it?
That is,
I'm nearing retirement. Let's put it that way. Yeah.
Okay. Well, number one, that's great. Number two, how fortunate any student that came through there and got to study with you, how fortunate they were.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, I have a lot of students out there in the world doing some interesting things, so I'm proud of them for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and that was one thing about this area, of course, is there's quite a bit of work there's different avenues that you can figure out a way, whatever works for you, you know what I mean, to get involved in this area. That's a blessing for students who are here, and apply themselves, because there's opportunity, man, still.
Yeah.
More than
that's
a lot,
great.
I would say, to be honest with you. Yeah.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful to hear, especially in the climate we're in.
Yeah, it's true. You're right. And I will say this, like some of that work is not something I'm particularly interested in myself, but a lot of the students are interested in it, number one. And number two, it's a stepping stone, just like stepping stones you and I took, like that gig we were talking about on the text the other day. You might have to edit that out. That was one of the funniest moments, man.
No, we're gonna actually, since you brought it up, man, I'm going there. So Dawn and I got called to play an oldies show up in, I think it was in New Kensington, if I remember correctly.
I'm pretty sure. Natrona.
So in Pittsburgh, there was a really famous DJ named Porky Chedwick. He was an oldies DJ, and he went by Pork the Torque Daddy over the radio. That's what he would say on the air. And so somehow Dawn and I both got called to play this show. And one of the acts were these guys named Don and Juan. And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but they seemed like they might have been half kicked in the butt while they were performing. Yeah. But they did a song called Chicken Necks, which we had never heard. and it was pretty darn funny.
Oh, this is great.
Chicken necks. I have to look it up because I don't think I've ever heard the original. Have you ever heard it?
No.
I got to find this. If
Yeah.
I do, I'm going to send it to you. And
Yeah.
but it was a lot of fun. We laughed a lot, and that was, I think, there was one of the songs that there was a misfire, possibly. Like, did we not start at the right time or prematurely or something? Something happened.
Yeah, I was trying to remember what happened. There's either two scenarios that it could have been. The first one is that the singer started the wrong tune, or at least the band and the singer didn't have the same tune up at the same time. And whose fault, I don't know. The second one was, it was possible that he came in and the horns came in with a different song than the rhythm section. That's also a possibility. It was one of those two. But I just remember it was a colossal train wreck. And it was, I mean, I was visibly shaking. I was laughing so hard, trying not to laugh on stage, you know.
Well, that whole thing was a highly organized event.
Well, yeah. Oh, we were just kids too. I mean, you know.
We were, and then I get a call from our friend Mike Carr, and he says, "Hey, I want you to play in this group called RTB." And I said, "RTB, what's that stand for?" And he said, "The Real Time Band." So I thought, okay, yeah, this sounds great, because I love Don's playing, and I didn't get to rehearse. And you guys, well, Mike made up tracks. I think he was the one who made up the backing tracks.
Yes.
So we were playing these gigs, and Don's job was to kick me in the back of the leg when I would start a solo, because I didn't know the arrangements of these track tunes. So then he would kick me in the back of the leg to end my solo.
And you know, you did quite well. You had no problem with it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun. And I didn't go home bruised, which is also good. So
I didn't have to kick you hard.
You didn't kick me hard. It was just a little tap. It was a little tap. You would tap the back of my leg, but it was always
I was trying to remember the name of the room.
I know it. Bucky Fitzgerald's.
Of course.
Route 51.
Yeah, Route 51. Yeah.
Bucky Fitzgerald's.
A lot
that
of
was
bars on
fun.
Route 51, man. That was a lot of places there. Spider Rondinelli had played in every one of them, man.
He did. Speaking of Spider, I've brought up his name several times now. Did you get to play with Spider much growing up?
Yeah. Through off and on. Towards the end, before I left town, I was playing with him some. Yeah. He was a trip.
He was a real trip, but I got to tell you, what a great guy for the scene, because he gave musicians so many opportunities, because he created gigs, you know?
Yep, you're right. You're absolutely right. If you think about, almost everybody of a certain generation would have played with him at one time or another. Going back even to my dad and your dad.
Yeah.
Because his career.
Yeah, my dad did. I did.
Yeah.
And your dad
did. So think about that. Like, for a 50-year period, like, probably every musician in the city played with him at one point or another for something.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You're absolutely
and right. I have to tell you, I give him a lot of credit, because that guy, he could manufacture gigs like nobody I ever saw.
I know. It must have been all consuming in some ways for him to do it, but he did it. I don't know how he did it, but he did it.
He did. He was a character too. I wish we had more recordings of his persona, because there's nothing like having Spider greet you, you know. Oh, babe.
I wonder if somebody might have some video of a gig somewhere that they don't know they have, you know what I mean? And they'll find it.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
It's possible, you know, towards the end, somebody has some video of him.
Yeah, he was great. Hey, speaking of great, your dad, he's 96 now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. going to be
what
90.
what an amazing
Almost
player and an amazing man. And I was fortunate when I was younger. Your dad got me on a few shows with him, and I just love him. I just think the world of him. So
Yeah, he's an amazing person. I mean, he really truly is.
he is.
Yeah.
He is. And I want people to know that at 96, he's still out there playing shows.
Mhm. Yeah. Still in the house that we grew up in, and still driving a little bit, hopefully not much.
I understand that.
And still playing gigs and having fun playing,
Yeah.
So
God bless him. He's amazing.
Sure. Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, he truly is.
Well, you're a chip off the old block. You're going to be that guy. Yeah.
God willing.
That's right. That's right. Well, you're doing it now. Not that your dad has what, 30 years on you or so, something like that.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
You got a long way to go, man. That's a lot of gigs.
Yeah. I better keep those gigs now. Yeah.
So, Don, you have a new EP out called Horizons, and I've heard the stuff, and it's amazing. And I think, are all the songs originals?
They are.
And they're all your compositions?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So things I've written recently. And that was sort of the impetus behind doing it, was to kind of see and hear what I'd written and see if it had legs or not, you know what I mean? And to get it recorded and to see where I'm at right now, kind of, that was my goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's beautiful. It's wonderful stuff. Tell me about the guys that are on it, and maybe a little bit about the sessions, because we have video footage from that.
Mm-hmm. Well, the musicians on it are guys I'm playing with quite a bit here in Nashville, and they're all younger cats. As a matter of fact, the pianist and the bassist, I remember hearing them when they were in high school. But the pianist, his name Mark Payne, he went to Nashville School of the Arts in high school, and then he went to the New School for a minute. But he's been here, and he's a largely kind of self-taught musician. Very gifted, can be very brilliant player sometimes. And the bassist, who I also heard in high school, he went off to study eventually at Manhattan School and study with Ron Carter on bass. So he's quite and also just both of those guys have grown like amazingly well. The drummer's been here. He's originally from Chicago. The bassist's name's Jack Ayler. And the drummer, Ryan Brassley, moved here maybe 4 or 5 years ago. He had studied at the Eastman School in Rochester, but he's originally from Chicago. And I've been playing with those guys quite a bit here in Nashville. And I just love playing with them. They have great energy. They're very willing to rehearse. They're willing to, learn new music. You know what I mean? They're all really into the music full time. You know what I mean? They're busy cats too, real busy. Yeah. And the recording, we did it at a studio. Well, it has a silly name, The Studio Nashville. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's the Punch Brothers who own the studio. But my friend Brooke Sutton, who's the engineer of the session, I did my last record there too. It's a really great place to record. It's very comfortable. He gets great sounds, you know what I mean? And we did it in one day. I mean, we actually did it in probably like from 10 to 2. That's how long it took to do all 5 tunes. We had been playing, but we knew them. We just kind of ran them and then cut a couple takes of each. And that was it. We tried to get it done and enjoy the process, like without getting too stressed out, getting into the weeds and stuff. You know what I mean? Because then you lose. For something like that, you lose the momentum you had. You lose that spontaneity that you're trying to capture in a jazz performance, right? So, yeah.
Well, I've listened to it all, and you guys captured some great magic. You really did.
Thank you.
It's really, really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
People will have heard it in the pre-interview segment.
Cool.
Where can they go? Can they still buy this? Can they buy it?
The EP's not really. I haven't released it other than on that format, which is the video on YouTube. So the short answer is no. But I have plenty of other stuff out there, including my last CD entitled Growth, which was recorded there as well, and that one is obviously for sale. And then the previous 5, and actually my website, which should be up any day. I just changed domain providers, and it's taking more time to process somehow. So, but they'll all be for sale on my website, which is just myname.com. So, by the time this airs, my website will have been up, hopefully.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'll make sure that we share the links to your site and all that stuff. Where in Nashville can people hear you? I believe there's a place called Rudy's Jazz Club. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Rudy's Jazz Room. It's been a real boon to this area, man. Because it's a nice room. It has a grand piano in it. It's a good sounding space. On the weekends, there are 3 bands that play. There's a 5:30, 7:15, 8 to 10, and 11 to 1.
That's awesome.
And he has jazz every night, except for Tuesday, I think. Well, Monday might be Latin dance kind of stuff, and then Wednesday the Wooten Brothers often play on Wednesdays. And then the weekends is a variety of people coming in from out of town on tours and so forth. And then lots of local cats get to play quite a bit. So I have kind of a steady thing there with Mark. Now, on every other Saturday we play. It's called, how are we billing it? Or the club's billing it, Legend Meets Brilliance, I think. I'm the legend part. He's the brilliance part. but it's that group basically. Sometimes guys have to sub out, but it's mostly the 4 of us. So we're playing actually tomorrow night, and we're gonna. We've been trying to get some new material together, so we're gonna play some different things. But that club, that's the spot, I think, and we've been blessed here in this area because I think one of the things that keeps it going, as opposed to maybe other cities of a similar size, is the tourism part of the city. Not everybody who comes here wants to hear country music. You'd be surprised at how many people just come in because they want to hear some jazz. They want to hear something different. And it's downtown, so it's fairly accessible. But it's off the nonsense that goes on Broadway. I mean, but it's a cool spot to play. I've been really lucky to that it came up. That happened.
Yeah. Well, I urge people to go if they're in the Nashville area. And by the way, I forgot to tell you this. Tom Hemby said to tell you hello.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, cool. I haven't run into him in a minute, but that's an interesting part about this scene is that it's so big that, you play with somebody for a minute, for a while, and then you don't see him again for a couple of years.
Yeah, he just put out an album with Pat Coyle and Vinnie Colaiuta and John Patitucci. So
I knew about that record because I know Pat fairly well and was working with Pat, and I remember him talking about it. Yeah, it's great. There, huh?
It's really wonderful. Much like your project is wonderful, and I think Nashville's blessed to have you down there. That's what I think.
I appreciate that.
So, Don, I talk to people about silver linings a lot on this show because I've been through a few things and some of my listeners have been through some stuff, and we try to dwell on the good that can come out of a bad situation. So my question for you is, do you have anything in your life that you went through that was not great but ended up having a silver lining?
Well, yeah, I do. Probably my marriage would be the biggest one. I'm not sure you want to air that on this interview. But
That counts.
yeah, it definitely counts, no doubt.
So, Don, after all these years of you playing this horn, you've been all over the place in many parts of the world playing your horn for people. Today, what still excites you about music and when you play your horn?
Wow, it's hard to put it into words, but it's when you're having that time on the bandstand where the horn or the music is playing you. You're not really playing music. It's almost an out-of-body experience that can only happen if you allow yourself to be that focused or not focused, as the case may be. There's a mindset to it, not unlike meditation, I think, probably it's similar. I know Sonny Rollins talked about it in his book about, not thinking too much, but allowing, being a receptor almost. And that's exciting. That's hard to get to. I mean, how many times does that happen? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of when it happens, boy,
It's amazing.
fulfilling. Yeah, it's amazing. It's fulfilling. It's spiritually satisfying. There's like a lot of things. There's a lot of levels of it, right? It's like nothing else almost. So that certainly excites me.
That's a great answer. And I come from, we'll call it a spiritual background, so I always liken it to God gave us music as a gift on this planet. And then people like you would be a torchbearer that is a delivery system basically for this gift that, right?
Yeah.
So if you're not thinking and you're out of your own head, you're not thinking and letting your training that you do, because we all do, we're kind of like boxers or whoever that train, and then you get into instinct mode because of your training and the delivery to you. I'm interested to hear what excites people, and that's a great answer because it is exciting. It's like what we're striving to do, and jazz is a great medium for that because of the interplay and the way that the music is set up that allows you to be self-expressive, or it's wrapped up in self-expression and what you bring to it and what you can do with the people, your surrounding people. It's a group activity, right? So it's wide open for that. I don't know that all music allows it to an extent that jazz does. I don't know. I don't want to go down that road. That's not my point, right? But like, if you've had that experience, man, that's why we're all still playing. In a lot of ways. Story. True story.
Yeah.
True story. Well, I'll tell you what, you're an amazing musician. I don't want to just call you a player because you compose, you do this, you teach, all the stuff you do. You're an amazing musician and an amazing guy. And I'm very thankful to know you. And I'm grateful that you came onto the show. And I hope that you're playing and doing your thing as long as your dad is and beyond, and I just wish you and your family continued blessings, and I'm thankful for you. So,
oh man, like I said to you earlier, right back at you, man. Like this is so great for me, and to have this opportunity, first of all. But I mean, just for us to reconnect and spend some time together, which probably should have happened before. But hey, it's happening now, which is awesome. So, now the next thing is we got to do something together.
That would be great. We should do something.
We should.
I have a question. Are you able to record horn at your place?
I should be able to now. Yeah. Yes.
Well, all right. Because I'm writing.
All right. Well,
And
we got to figure it out. I mean, there's no reason why.
let's do it.
You got a car, right? You come down here.
I can do that too. I can do that. I'd prefer to drive. I'm not really crazy about flying anymore.
Yeah, well, they're not. Either one of them is much fun to get from Pittsburgh to here. I can tell you that. I've done both many times, as you know. But I mean, yeah, I usually fly one, drive one, and then I think like, oh gosh, this is worse. I'll never do this again. And then you do the other one, you think this is terrible. I'll never do this one again.
I will say all my friends in Nashville have told me that the traffic has become pretty hideous.
It's bad. Yeah, it's way worse than when I moved here. I mean, it's significantly worse.
Yeah, lots of people.
Yeah, I mean, just the influx of people and you know, it's out of control sometimes, but you have to be careful.
Yeah, great city though.
Oh yeah,
great city.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff happening here, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, Don, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll look forward to the next time.
You bet. And everybody, make sure you check out Horizons and Don's other projects that will be on his website. We will share the links and they can check out all your great stuff.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you. All right, Don. That's a wrap, baby.
We did it. We did it.
right. I hope you guys had a great time hearing Don, and I sure had a great time with him. And one of the big blessings in my life was coming across T and his family. His dad, I can't tell you how cool his dad is. So I've known them a long time, and I'm really blessed that that is the case. So some of that was probably real different for some of you guys because it was a lot of straight ahead jazz. But as you could hear, Don, he can play everything. You heard him with Billy Price, and just a great musician, great all-around musician and person. All right, I'm going to come back and say hello. And I did see, I think William showed up. If you're still here, give me a shout out. Sage is here. Hi, Sage. All right, great to see you as always. Scott, I'm glad you enjoyed that, Scott. We had such a great time, and that was the bummer for me. When I saved the file out and I opened it back up, the first part of the interview was just gone. And I don't know why. And this happened with Tom Hemby's interview, part of his interview, the same thing. And I changed the file format that I saved to because I was doing some reading about it. And I did Gumby's interview, and we were on there for hours, right? You guys were here, and it worked perfectly. And then it happened again with Don. So I have to find out why this is happening. I'm going to try another thing. I have my friend Paul coming up. And, before I get too into the chat, I have to tell you that the guests that are coming up right now is Paul Thompson next week. PD Bass, YouTube, fabulous bassist, great YouTube channel. Wayne, I think you're going to really enjoy it because his channel covers all kinds of styles, and he's a great musician. Also, Gary Talley, my friend Gary from the Box Tops. He's wonderful, and his mom is really cool. They have a YouTube channel, and Gary accompanies his 90-plus-year-old mom singing. But Gary was with the Box Tops. That song, The Letter, it's famous, just a timeless piece. My baby, she wrote me a letter. Then the masked man, Marino. He has a song on YouTube called The Devil in Disguise that has over 30 million views the last time I checked. It could be higher now. Most of his songs have millions of views, and I'm not exaggerating. So he's going to be on. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. Then my friend Will Donato, who's a great saxophonist, and he's had #1 hits in the smooth jazz world, and he's played with some folks that you would know, and I'm going to let him tell you about that. Then John Pagano has the voice of an angel. He's wonderful. He could sing the phone book, and it would sound like the best thing you ever heard. He was the lead vocalist for Burt Bacharach for 26 years, but he also had his own solo career, and he's a great guy, and thanks to Scott Jackson for hooking that up. John and I have had a couple phone conversations now, and it's like I've known him forever. Then my friend Rob Parisi from the group Wild Cherry. You guys know that song, Play That Funky Music. Well, Rob's a great guy, and I've known him for years, and I love him and his wife. And I just can't wait to have him on, Rob Parisi. And then I have a new friend, JC Soul. She's a Canadian vocalist and songwriter, and she's going to be on. She does kind of R&B, smooth jazz R&B vocal stuff, and she's really got a great vibe, real sweet. And so she's coming on. I have others, but that's what I could fit on the sheet for this week. All right. Back to the chat. And thank you again for you guys sticking around and coming on out and spending Tuesday evenings with me. I'm thrilled and grateful. Okay? I mean it. All right. You love that song by Wild Cherry? Candy? Candy. I tell him every time I talk to him. It's like a magic song. Do you know how many times I've played that song in my career at people's weddings and parties and clubs, and it's an instant dance floor magnet. There's a few songs. Mustang Sally's one of them too. Play that funky music and it keeps going. I mean, it keeps going. Rob is, he wrote it. He wrote the magic song. It keeps getting used in movies and commercials. And I mean, it just, all kinds of stuff. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. And he's a wonderful guy. Okay, let's see. Anybody that I missed or any questions that I missed? If you did ask a question and I didn't get to it. Oh, yeah, Wayne, I saw you talking about when Don was kicking me. He didn't kick me hard, but it was really funny. It was really funny because the guy who played keyboards and trumpet, he did the tracks, and they wanted me to improvise over these tunes, but I didn't have a chart generally, and so I'm listening, and then Don would kick me when to start, and then I would play, and then he would kick me to stop. So, yeah. Oh, The Commitments. Yeah. Wayne, I've seen it. It's a great movie. Great movie. In fact, their version of Mustang Sally is very cool. I have seen it. Okay. Yeah, it is a great list of people, and I have more than that. So I'm very thankful. I'm getting some cool people on here. And not only am I getting cool people as guests, but I'm getting cool people like you on Tuesday nights. So it's a win-win-win-win for me. It just is. Okay. Scott Lusk is here, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, Scott? Great to see you. And William, hi back to you, buddy. Glad to see you. Thanks, Amanda. Amanda's still here, and she was here first. She was here early. I mean, she was here at least a half an hour early. Okay? She is not a tardy person. Thank you, Sage. It makes for a great Tuesday because you all are here. Trust me. I did one makeup show because I had technical difficulties, and Scott Lusk was the only person here for a good hour. Scott, you remember that one? It was just you and I. It was two guys having a conversation over the internet. And it was actually really fun. Then people started coming on. It turned into a great show. But I had, I think it was my influences video that I did. And I had an issue that every time I showed pictures to talk about, my mic cut off. So I'm talking away. And people didn't tell me right away. So I'm explaining the pictures and talking about who these people were, but they can't hear a word I say. So I ended up coming back the next night unannounced just to make it right. And Scott was here, and we hung out for a while. It was just the two of us. It's Katie. Hey, Katie, I'm glad too. You're really cool. And thank you for that little promo video thing you did on your YouTube channel. Sometimes I can talk. Sometimes I can't. The best part. Oh, Mike, you liked my little dancing in the lower left-hand corner. Well, I may have to take you out on chicken necks because I kid you not. I just found that song and I put it at the beginning of the show so Don can see it because I didn't send it to him. and I scoured the internet to find that song, and we were howling at that gig. I mean, they started singing this crazy song about chicken necks and how they like to eat chicken necks. And they do say the line, frigid air. Did you hear that in there? She puts them in the frigid air. Sounds like my wife. Not putting things in the frigid air, but her grandmother always called it the frigid air. That's the refrigerator, by the way, because there was a manufacturer called Frigid Air. So people, instead of calling a refrigerator, they would call it the frigid air. And so they used that in their song. Keeping the chicken necks in the frigid air. It was really hard keeping it together, playing for them when they were singing that song. I'm just telling you. And I think they were half kicked in the butt. And that's why the train wreck occurred. And the best part was this big train wreck happened and they went, how about that band? And we were like, great. We wanted to crawl under the stage. All right. So, yeah, things are going well. Winter Park still progressing, which I'm very thankful for that. If you get a chance, save it to your Spotify list. Save it, play it. That kind of stuff helps a lot. Because some of the tracking actually goes by streams. Some goes by purchases. Some of the tracking goes by, of course, radio spins. So they add all that together. So all of it helps. You had a short taken down due to copyright. What was it, Wayne? Because I'm playing other people's music, and I've had a couple incidents where I get a nasty looking message appear, and it says we may terminate your stream right now, but they haven't. The first time it happened was Vito. Do you guys remember my friend Vito? And when Vito had that film music, we were playing Eat, Pray, Love. And I'm playing it, and this big yellow banner thing pops across the screen, and I am like freaking out. Now, it's happened a few times since then, and I don't freak out because I think it's just a copyright notice, and it's not been a strike, it's been a claim, which is fine. My own songs get claimed when I stream my own songs. So it's just the way it works. If I have them under what's called Content ID, they give me a copyright claim against my own Winter Park or Wish You Didn't Have to Go or Victor Vicious, all that stuff. So Wayne, what was it that they took it down for? No, I don't see it. Okay. Well, at any rate, you guys have any more questions? Oh, hey, anybody have bad weather over the 4th of July weekend? We did. In fact, one of my really good friends, he's a great horn player named Matt Ferraro, and his wife, Kathy, they're great people. A tornado came through their neighborhood. They don't live very far from us. And it touched down for 0.58 miles. And it was a EF1. And I guess EF is Enhanced Fujita. The Enhanced Fujita scale. And that is a tornado that clocked at 95 miles an hour. They also had in the area microbursts that were 90 miles an hour. So those are straight line winds. If I hadn't have been a musician, I would have done something with the weather. My wife will tell you, I could watch the Weather Channel all day. I could watch the Weather Channel literally all day, just watching the Weather Channel. Yeah. I'm an exciting guy. But I would have been a meteorologist. But maybe somebody that actually got their hands dirty. Maybe I'd have been a storm chaser. I'm a little chicken for that. I don't really want to see a tornado up close. See, my wife says I love the weather. I do. I find it fascinating. I find the weather fascinating. Thunderstorms. Did you have them, Sage? Yeah, it got really bad here. We were very fortunate because we have giant oak trees in our backyard, and several of them. And we had limbs and stuff down, but no tree. A neighbor 2 doors away had a tree fall on their house. So, sorry, they're okay, which is great, but they did have damage done to the house. But the trees we have, they're big. They're big and they're kind of scary. Amanda had a question for me. Amanda, you had a question. I'm looking. How are you so cool? That couldn't have been for me. Amanda, I'm a nerd. I'm a big nerd, which is why I could watch the Weather Channel all day, too. But thank you. I'll take that as a compliment because that was very kind of you. It was 75 degrees with a light breeze here. Scott said it was 75 degrees with a light breeze here. We were terrified. Well, I am sure that you were shaking in your boots. Kay and I had to drive home from my aunt's house, which is an hour and a half away. And we were on a highway that has speeds anywhere from 55 miles an hour to 65 miles an hour. And for much of the journey, we were going 35 miles an hour because it rained so hard that you couldn't see. It was not fun. Light breeze. That's cool, Scott, because you guys have had your share of other stuff. So I'm glad it was nice. And you're such a cool guy. Yeah. Yeah. Candy's wishing Scott, she said she's so glad he's safe. And I have to agree. Mike Pandit, you're making fun of me about chasing a tornado? You're making fun of me? My wife will tell you I don't kid about being infatuated with the weather. I find it fascinating. I really do. It's amazing. And then, how many times do forecasters get the forecast right? Because hard to predict. Very unpredictable, can change in an instant. What happened in this area was 2 storms merged, and one had the straight line winds and one had the rotation. And it was crazy. It got very bad. In fact, flooding and all that stuff. Thank goodness where we live, we're kind of up on a hill because we're in a fairly flat area. So we are elevated somewhat, thankfully. All right. Where's Scott? Scott Lusk, what happened? You lost a huge tent at Mark Subrick's house. Oh, no. Mark Subrick's a great guy. See, Scott Lusk and I went to high school together. Well, we went to grade school together. I mean, middle school, I think. Because I think, Scott, did you went to Wolfdale? Did you go to Wolfdale? But at the very least, middle school. And Mark Subrick's a great guy. And I'm sorry to hear about his tent. I hope nobody was hurt because those things can do damage. And umbrellas can do a number. So it was bad. Oh, there's my wife. See, let's join the club and beat up Tony. She said you would go outside to chase a tornado. No, but would you go outside to chase a tornado? You'd be in the basement shaking. Ha ha. Well, that's a possibility. All right, next tornado that comes through, I'm going after it. That did it. That did it. Let's see. You got a ceiling fan, Wayne. That's great. That'll help. Because you do not have central air, I believe, correct? Because Wayne's in the UK and many homes do not have central air. A lot of the places over there just don't have it. Because typically you're not that warm. All right. Mike Panich, are you still beating up on me? I'm gonna have to prove myself next tornado. Wish me luck. Anyway, had a great time with Don tonight. Oh yeah, there you go, Toto. And your little dog too. Yeah. Wow, Wayne. He lives in an old terraced house originally built for miners. So you're talking about people that are underage. No, I know. Mining. I know. I have a terrible sense of humor. Mark had to get a new windshield on their new Bronco after the tent landed on it. Oh, my. Oh, boy. But nobody was hurt. That's the thing. I knew what you meant, Wayne. You probably do some of the other as well, but that's okay. I knew what you meant. Wayne said, live in, not love in. But it's all going to happen. Let's see. See, Sage said could be both. True story. True story. So anyway, you guys, really, really, really thank you so much. And again, thanks for the buy me a coffee. Mike's not here tonight. I don't see him. Mike Bozick and Wayne, of course. Thank you so much for that. And, I appreciate y'all. And I'm going to leave. We're going to do another rousing rendition of Chicken Necks, okay? Because why not?
Chicken head, chicken feet, chicken necks is all I eat. Chicken necks every night of the week. Chicken heads and chicken feet. She never cooks any collard greens, no potatoes, no lima beans. Chicken heads, chicken feet, chicken necks is all I eat. When I come home from a hard day's work, my house is in a wreck. She's standing by the kitchen stove, cooking nothing but some chicken necks. Chicken heads, chicken feet, chicken necks is all I eat. She give me kisses just the night before. I told the chick I didn't want any more. Cause on the weekend when I get my check, she fill the Frigidaire full of necks. Chicken heads, chicken feet, chicken necks is all I eat. pecking and I'm pecking around the place all day. The wrinkles in my belly just won't go away. Chicken head, chicken feet, a chicken eggs is all I eat.